What's up, guys? Man, working on some technical issues today. Oh, so hey, we late, but we're here. Hey, welcome back with your guy, the main man, the one and only Coach Tony. And this is the Pull Up Podcast Show. Tonight is going to almost be like my fan appreciation show. I need a lot of conversation. I need a lot of questions. I need people diving in. I want your opinions tonight. We're going to get it started. We're going to hit you with a trifecta tonight, big time. And my sidekick is none other than my girl, my sister, the one and only Val, the voice Johnson. She's going to ride in the sidecar with me tonight as we talk about a few items. But before I bring those items to you and bring Val on the stage, Val, you know what to do. Drop it.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show.
And welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show with your one and only, your main man and them, Coach Tony. You know, tonight's show, it's been very difficult listening to sports media around the country because we've had two of our black men that's been hit very hard in different ways. We're going to talk about tonight. I want your opinion. But before we get started and bring out my girl Val, the voice, make sure you like the show. Make sure you share this with your friends. Make sure they share with other people. And more importantly, subscribe to the show. You know, as a sidekick to me, let's bring out my girl, Val, the voice Johnson, as we get into this episode, season 3, episode 307 of the Pull Up Podcast Show. Val, welcome to the stage, girl.
Hey, Coach. How's it going?
Good.
How's it going? Great.
Wonderful. How are you doing tonight?
I bees okay, and it's been a good time to be in the building, the virtual building with you, Coach Tony. And of course, this was a very active sports weekend as we end.
So in other words, you sit in front of the TV all weekend.
I did not sit in front of the television all weekend. You are very funny. I don't know where you're going with that, but I do not sit in front of a television at all. Thank you so very much, Mr. Springer. He's given a huge shout out to us both. And of course, Queen Bella's in the building. She says, let's go, Coach Tony. And James Ward from
J-Dub sitting down in North Kakalaka. Sorry y'all lost some of y'all people to the Illini next year, James. We're going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Good to see you.
How was your weekend this weekend?
You know what? My weekend was really, really good. And I will say this, I had a good time recuperating. And first time in a long time, and it's been over 3 weeks, I started driving this weekend. So that's pretty major.
That's impressive. I mean, you've been going through it. For those that don't know, on the Pull Up Podcast Show, my sister Val has some minor surgeries going on, and now she's back trying to get herself back to the old her. So to walk around the block a few times, now get behind that steering wheel and drive, you coming.
Thanks a lot, Bella. I appreciate you. Yeah. And I have these beautiful flowers that was given to me by the lemonade stand. Thank you guys so very much for the flowers. I'll move them into the shot better because, Valerie is the Wizard of Oz over here. There's a lot of things happening. But, Coach, I have to say, like I said, this was a very, very busy weekend in sports. And I think the thing that took me off of my focus, I'm expecting to see another Club Shay Shay episode. I think the very last episode I checked out was with Bobby Brown. So, of course, I was excited to see this interview. And, of course, for myself and others, we love giving other YouTubers that know what they're doing, you know, a pound and a shout. And of course, me and you have talked about Club Shay Shay. You know about him, Shannon Sharpe, as a professional football player. I know about him from First Take and Club Shay Shay. But how do I say everything is on pause because of an accusation that has gone out, and now things for Shannon is all on pause? And so we are going to be chit-chatting about that. It's weird when a public figure that you admire from afar. I don't know Shannon. I don't know. Do you personally know Shannon? I don't know Shannon, but it's something that it interrupts the flow of good content, information about him, the show that he does with Stephen A. Smith, First Take, the show that he does with Ocho Cinco. Just all of these things have come to a halt because of what's happening. So what do you know about the situation? I'm going to look at some of my notes for what do you know?
It kind of did, and kind of, like this weekend, I was out west in Denver, Colorado, just repping, cold as hell, didn't take the right coat, should have. But a couple of things before we jump into it. I want to definitely say what's going on tonight to my number one fan, my granddaughter, Skylar, at home, and my number two fan, baby Liv, as we call her, baby Boom. See, they're my number one and my number two. Always check out the show tonight. So what's up? I had an opportunity to do a lot of conversation with a lot of guys this weekend while on the West Coast. And, the one big thing, I'm going to start from reverse and go back to the beginning. What you mentioned about is that he did not sit around. He did make it to the NFL draft in Green Bay with Ocho Cinco. So his personal podcast show, they did go. He should have maybe not gone, or could have sat home, but he decided to take the show on the road and, went on up to Lambeau Field. Now, let's reverse it for everyone. For those that, I don't know where you were, if you've been under a rock and sleeping through like a winter bear or whatever you're doing, but my main man's in there, Shannon Sharpe, has been in the news for allegedly rape situations with Jane Doe, not saying her name. But the crazy part about this is the question on the table with everyone listening tonight, that I need to ask off the bat was, we know that the lawyer from Jane Doe, which is Busby, we know that he has been after Jay-Z. We know he got after Diddy. We know he got after a couple of people. I think he was also involved in a few more entertainers' situation. And now here's Shannon Sharpe. So the question on the table that I have started off is that, do you think this particular attorney, with his situation, has now put himself in a scenario that, one, he's after our black athletes and entertainers? Are they target? Are they the new suits or jumpsuits? Orange is the new green, right? So I just want to know that from everybody that's watching and tuning in tonight. Did Shannon Sharpe kind of have a target on his back, or did he put himself in this situation? Because, Val, I know you asked me what my thoughts were. So we go, my boy Joe and a couple of my golfer guys on here tonight. I listened to a podcast earlier today, Val, and we live in this world of everything that's being said and this and that. Me and you even talk about it. You're guilty and to proven innocent. Where I remember when you was innocent and somebody had to show that you had done something, right? We don't live that way. But even with my homeboy, me and Joe, we was arguing today about a golf situation, right? About a ball getting hit from off the fringe. I don't know, you don't play golf now, but getting hit off the fringe of the golf course onto the putting green, if it hits your ball, and moves it out the way. Now, I may say to Joe, vice versa, some of my guys that I'm playing with, and man, whatever you say, man, I'm gonna spank that ass. Now, does that literally mean I'm gonna walk over to him, bend him over, and spank him on the ass? Nah, I doubt that. But that's men talk. That's how we out there in the crust of things on the basketball court. Man, I tell my boy, I'm gonna break you off, man. What? I'm gonna break your ankles. That don't mean I'm gonna send him to the hospital. So I just want to know your thoughts about that and whatnot. Now, don't get me wrong. There was a tape that Busby aired, and Shannon Sharpe did his best by saying, listen, if you're going to air, which I do agree with Shannon Sharpe 100% on this point, Val, if you're going to air, don't give me the version where Jane Doe talked about, do you want me to choke you? I want you to play the entire 10 minutes so you can get the thrust of the entire conversation. Now, through different outlets, there were multiple tapes that came out, Val. Don't know if you heard one, where the young lady, actually called Shannon and said, why don't you come over tonight, tie me up, and choke me while you do such and such? You know what I'm saying? So it appears to me as though, you know, some women, some men like to do these active so forth and so on, where they tied up with balls in their mouth, got to walk and crawl like dogs, get spanked, get whooped, chains and whips. I don't know about that life, Val. That ain't me. I don't know about you. I don't get out like that. So,
all right. So
I think,
go ahead. The
question is, you know, with the tapes being released by Busby, is it a situation where Shannon overbid? Because, you know, I'm not sure, Val. I think it was Vegas when all of this went down, and I'm not sure about Las Vegas laws. I'm in the state of Tennessee. I know you're in Illinois, but it's illegal to record here without the knowledge of the person on the other line. So if you call me and you and I get into it, and me and you get to going back and forth about whatever, in the state of Tennessee, if you record that conversation without my knowledge, that's not admissible in court. So I'm not sure about Las Vegas. So I just want to know the thoughts of you guys out here listening tonight. Did Shannon Sharpe put himself in a bad situation? Because again, Val, my daughter's 30. This girl was, 19 when it jumped off. Shit, I couldn't see myself messing with no 19-year-old. What we going to talk about? I'm trying to go to sleep. She's trying to go walk.
All right. You done? Because I want to make sure that you get it all out. You got anything else you want to bring to the table?
No, we're going to talk about it. Let's go.
So let me do this. The best way to kick this off is to hear from the gentleman himself.
Because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks. To my family.
So I got a lot of thoughts on this, and you know, I'm glad you brought those things up. And I just wanted to, because he put this 6 days ago on his IG, so I figured, you know, this is for many of us to kind of talk about it. I think now, what I was very shaken about is this young lady who is young, 19, 20. I'm not 100% sure about her age. I know Shannon is around our age. He's in his 50s.
56.
And so, okay, so there's an age gap right there. And then on top of everything, I don't want to know what you're doing in your boudoir. I have absolutely no interest in knowing what you're doing. This attorney that's representing her, Jane Doe, unfortunately has this reputation to go after people, and especially people that especially Black men. And I believe, according to, I think, USA Today and Yahoo Sports, Shannon was about to sign $100 million signing deal. Well, a podcast, and this is probably in relation with either Club Shay Shay or the other one he does with Ocho Cinco. So my whole thing is we have to, especially if we're in the public eye, watch who we associate with, because I don't know. And here's the thing, it makes me sad for real victims, and not that I'm saying that she is, everything is alleged. So I'm not saying her accusations are not real. But of course she has an for OnlyFans page. So there's this thing where all of us kind of tilt our heads and go, did he really? Was this really what happened? And then it makes you question, and it's like, no, because the people that are real victims of rape, when people come out and make these accusations for a money grab, then it becomes harder for women to come forward and say, this actually happened to me, because you have people out there that's throwing accusations around and it becomes a money grab.
Especially when you got the same lawyer.
Exactly. And I'm upset at the situation because this interrupts me as a fan watching his show or watching what he does on First Take with with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith had, I think, 2 videos that came out, and he was in 100% support of Shannon because they've gotten to know each other.
And he knew it before this. He knew him before the podcast show.
He knew him before the podcast show. And the thing of it is that I like when Stephen said, I can't really comment on this. All I can say is that ESPN is investigating it. And for right now, Shannon has stepped down, voluntarily, so things can be worked out behind the scenes. And Stephen said, this is my podcast. He wasn't on First Take, but he says, I'm on my own show, and I'm saying that I don't like what's happening, and I don't know all of the things. I don't know all the details, but he went into detail and said that I spoke with, my superiors over at ABC Disney, because a lot of people forget ESPN is owned by ABC Disney.
Correct.
You got to get these things, because I don't know if people know that a lot of people that sign with ESPN, ABC, and most of all of their affiliates, you sign a morality clause.
Correct.
Across the board. So if you are not following this, you could easily be fired. And here's the thing, there's question and there's pause because of, number one, the attorney, Busby, and number two, this young lady who her reputation is a little
shaky.
It's shaky. You're kind of tilting your head. So that's my whole thought on.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a pause here. We're going to pay some bills on the Pull Up Podcast Show. We're going to continue this conversation about Shay Shay. As you guys know, Club Shay Shay. We'll be right back with me and my girl, Val the Voice Johnson. And this is the Pull Up Podcast Show. Hey, it's your main man, right back at you. Coming live here from the Rise Studios. And it's your guy talking about what? Pull Up Podcast Show. What is the Pull Up Podcast Show? It's a brand new podcast hitting your airways nationwide, talking everything on sports, from baseball, basketball, hockey, and then I tell you, we're going to have a lot of fun. So make sure, if you want your questions answered, you want to have fun talking a lot of sports, make sure you pull up on me, because it's the Pull Up Podcast Show.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up.
Also, for those that want to learn a little bit more about this right here, oh yeah, that right there, that's the Rise, NIL, talking name, image, and likeness. Those are having opportunities, getting paid you want to tune in to.
Sports show, let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up.
Man, got me sitting on here vibe to the Pull Up Podcast, the Pull Up Podcast, the show. Man, Val's divorce and Coach Tony, you know, it's the Pull Up Podcast show. And I'm going to spin it like that. And welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast show. Back to the conversation that we were talking about. My question on the table, for those that are listening, James, I know you probably want to say something. Coach Justin checking in. My mans and them said, what's happening? Better leave them Gen Xers alone, what Justin said. I mean, Gen Z. Hey, I'm going to go to what Coach Justin said, and I'm going to make it more than that. So did you see the response from Monique?
Well, check this out. It isn't a response. I think a lot of people kind of.
I don't think a response. She was just being direct in the conversation that he was interviewing. That's all.
Yeah, it's not a direct response. The scary thing about this conversation, like I said, Shannon has been giving us, I want to call it, great interviews with wonderful people that we like. I love Marlon Wayans. It was Monique. We just had Bobby Brown, and of course the Cat Williams. The Cat Williams interview from last year. Still, I mean, it's ridiculous how many views that 3-hour interview has gotten. But Monique had a conversation with him, and this was released about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I was just playing this for a friend of mine, it was on Saturday. And she was saying, you got to leave them young girls alone. And you need to come back to the sisters.
Gotta get you a big beat. Gotta get you a whole beat over them fitted. Because they go to take their ass to sleep at night, sip on some yak or sip on some wine. You know what I'm saying? We got all that. So again, let me ask you a question then, Val, because maybe you do and maybe you don't know what I'm about to say.
I don't. I have no clue.
You know Coach Tony. So you're talking about Shannon and this 19-year-old, right? He's 56.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bill Belichick is 43 years or 45 years older than his woman, who's 29, but no one said a thing. And they just did an interview with him on CBS in the morning, and the 29-year-old basically instructed the interviewer from CBS News what he could and what he couldn't ask. So the question on the floor tonight, you, Justin, Bella, all you guys, Springer, J-Dub, you get in the house tonight, again, is not wrong because, whatever it is, young lady calls herself grown and this and that. But if he doesn't mess with this 19, 20-year-old, does he have the same situation with an older young lady? Now, the crazy part is, Val, is that one of the lawyers I was listening to today said, Shannon's done a smart thing by throwing everything on the table, right? Let's put it out there because we know that we're killed in the public opinion. So if I put it out there and destroy it, you go to court, what can you say? The first thing I thought, what movie popped up in your mind that you thought somebody did this and they were successful doing it? You remember?
Remind me, and successful doing what? Putting their name down?
Putting all their entire trash up front, and then it just killed what you're trying to say about it. Did that remind you of any movie?
Not off the top of my head. A few come to mind, but not directly related in sports or just name bashing or something. I mean, I don't know. The
one that comes to my mind is 8 Mile with Eminem. The entire movie was about him living in a trailer court, about him not having money, working in a steel mill, had an illegitimate daughter trying to raise and this and that, and B-Rabbit, his homeboy, shot himself, right? And his classmate was sleeping with his mama. But when he got up in that club and grabbed that microphone, started spitting on that mic, and then all of a sudden he crushed the crew by himself, 5 dudes by himself. And the last dude he talked to, and he said, man, let's go. He said the best rap for last. He's like, hey, I know my homeboys are Uncle Tom. I know my other homie shot himself. My dude sleeping with my mom, my girls, this and that. He put so much out there. And then he said, man, here's the mic. Tell them something that they don't know about me. And dude picks the mic up. And what happened, Val? He stunned himself. He couldn't say jack. He was like, because he didn't know what to say. So the lawyer today was saying Shannon Sharpe is trying to pull an Eminem in a public opinion. And that's what I want to know from everybody. Is he doing it? Because if so, he's saying, okay, yeah, Busby want to air this, 3-minute video, but dude, let's go ahead and push it out to 10. So you can see the original phone call. She told me to come over and do this and that. Maybe she said, hey, Daddy choked me. That was a little jokey joke that they had. Who knows? Whatever it was. But the situation is, again, I like what Monique is saying. Monique is basically saying, someone your age, basically, kind of going to vibe with you on certain things. Now, I know what you're about to get into say, how is that choking me, legitimate or whatever, but I'm saying you and me don't know the conversation over the month, because it was a 3-year relationship that they had, right? A 2-year?
2 years.
2-year relationship. Okay. So she was 19 to 21 years old. And they had conversation where she called him. And she was on OnlyFans. Not that that matters, but come on.
Matters. Right, exactly. But the salacious details is mute at this point.
Yeah.
What's very serious about everything is you pick someone that decided, let me get a money grab, or going to accuse you of something that you are not, that's not happening. And then, of course, if I'm going to take it back to what my uncle would say, or one of my other, older relatives, don't these black athletes know what happened? Have we learned nothing from OJ? Have we learned nothing from Tiger Woods? Have we learned nothing from? So it's like, no, I don't want to go in that direction, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the race. It doesn't matter about any of that. You have to watch who you associate with. It's just
your comment. But you know what I think happened in the crunch, bro?
What happened?
You know what I think happened in the crunch? I think that it's going to come out. This is Coach Tony, only my opinion, for promotional purposes only. Is that it's going to come out over this 2-year period, because he called himself chocolate coffee.
Okay, whatever that means. Whatever that
coffee, but whatever that means, right?
Whatever that means.
Hey,
my head. I don't know.
I'm like Jamie Foxx on the Jamie Foxx show. I call myself Chocolate Drop. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Kevin Hart, rather. So, but when you look at everything, Val, I think it's going to come out in the end that the young lady got hooked on it, and over a 2-year time period, she knew who he was. She knew he had the money. She got hooked on it. 22 years of age, and all of a sudden, she turned to tables. And the table turned from being, when we originally hooked up, this is just supposed to be a hit it, quit it, be with it. And it came from that to a continue to come back to the candy store, to buy the candy store. Now you own the candy store. Now you're going to hire some employees to work at the candy store. Now the candy store is yours. And I think it's going to come out that she wanted a relationship. He was like, hell no. Man, I'm not walking around with a damn 21-year-old on my arm. Still Shannon Sharpe. What the hell? I'm not doing that. No. And I think that when he went down that road, Val, I think she's like, oh, okay. So I'm good enough to get that coffee, but I ain't good enough to roll out with you. Okay, let me see what I'm going to do. And I guarantee you, and I don't guarantee you in terms of the overall, but I'm just guaranteeing Coach Tony's world, when it all gets said and done, you're going to see information that drop out in this case that she wanted a relationship with him. He didn't want that, and she turned the tables on. And all of a sudden, she's like, let me see who I can get the best deal. Oh, shit, there go Busby. Why? Because the information has it that during the original meeting and all that, $10 million was thrown on the table. And you know as well as I know, Val, just like Justin, just like Bella, just like anybody, You throw 10 mil on the table at me off the rip. Shit, I know there's more money behind that. 10 mil. Oh, Val just told me she gonna give me 10 million to do my podcast. Let me think about that. Val, I'm thinking my podcast worth well more than 10 mil. And in my mind, I'm probably saying, damn, I ain't know I was gonna get 10 mil. So I think when she did that and she's looking at 10 million is already on the table. I got Busby, who's already sued multiple athletes and entertainers. There's more money in this to be had. And he said, be quiet, let me handle.
No, but I don't think she's thinking beyond this. And here's the thing.
She's 21. Obviously, she's not, Val. She just thinking about, man, pay me as a come up.
No, but here's the thing. This ruins your rep, and people young don't realize this. It ruins your rep from either real relationships or any other kind of relationships that you would have, because people are not going to trust you because they'll think, oh, you're going to reverse this on me and accuse me of, and then whatever that salationness is. And like I said, I don't want to know what you're doing in your boudoir. I really don't. I don't.
But Val, look at the overall.
Let me finish making my point.
I'm sorry.
You can say you can choke or whatever, and I'm thinking la 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 la. Jesus is love. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear what you're doing in your bedroom. Let's get that out there, please. Let's get that out there. Now, on top of everything, we have to watch who we associate with. And here's the thing. Sex has a way of changing the relationship where you think this is a hit it and quit it, but God created it for it to be a connection.
Right.
And if you don't want any kind of connection, don't connect that way. And don't hit anything. It's not meant to be a hit and quit situation. It was created to make children. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going down a Christian.
There you go. Come on back onto the pod. Come on back onto the pull up.
But I'm just saying, I just need my brothers and sisters. Definitely my brothers. You ain't interested in someone and they're much younger and hotter or whatever you want to call it. Think about it. Would this person turn around and accuse you of something? Or you have to think about that. Or you could do the Prince way of thing. You remember how Prince used to do? Sign this NDA.
For sure. The lawyer trying to say 99 times what, but she can just say one. Val, you got to look at it. I love you to death. You my sister. But I'm telling you, 21 years old, I ain't making that type of paper on only fan. Come on, y'all. Y'all talk to me tonight. I ain't hear y'all talk to me tonight. You making that. You got a 10 mil pop up. And then you trying to tell me I can make a 50 mil come up. I can give a damn who like me or who don't like me. I'm talking about, I ain't never got to be on anything 50 mil piece. I'm out. I'm off OnlyFans. You don't have to. Matter of fact, when you see me in the airport, keep it stepping because I got the pay. That's how some of these people, I'm not saying all, that's how some of them, and Beverly is saying the situation is very sad. And it is, Beverly, because of the simple fact that you have, in my opinion, again, an older man who has longevity in paper and this, that, and status with a young girl who has no paper trying to get status. And all of a sudden she's like, bam, they're going to come up. And I'm just telling you, this is my opinion again, Val. When it comes out, I guarantee you, she had wanted a relationship with him. And that wasn't going to happen. I guarantee she was telling her girl, oh my God, I got Shannon Sharpe. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. And when he didn't want her, she's like, oh, wait a minute, hold up now. You can't just toss me to the curb like that. So
and I don't want to divulge any other salaciousness on the other side about Shannon, because none of it is true. It's all speculation, and I'm not going in that direction. But
leave the paint toes alone.
Yeah, and here is this. Beverly says both of them have to be accountable for decisions they made.
Correct.
But the thing of it is, at 21, if you're thinking about, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money is the root of all evil, for the love of money. Because you could say, well, I could get off this for only fan page and just be like, yes, I'm gonna come up and I don't need anyone. But I'm telling you, how many people that are millionaires, how many people that are billionaires, they are lonely with their money and there's
Sure.
nobody around. And here's the thing,
100% agree.
a 21-year-old is not going to know that type of assertiveness. They'll be like, oh, I could just buy a friend. But ultimately, you're going to want to have real friends around you. And
Sure.
why would you alienate the person that you call yourself in love with, or you've been hypnotized by the sex that's not really there, or the love you think is not really there? And because you're not going to give me what I want, I'm going to sue you, and I'm going to get this attorney to sue you. And it's like, that's not, no, why would you? That's not cool.
Because
And
if it happened in a club in Vegas, I'm in a casino, you see me drop down on the roulette table, on the craps table, whatever, and you walk up to me and we connect, boom, and that's the night, cool, whatever. Go your way, go my way, like Beverly said. But you're talking about 24 months. Let me just look at what you're saying. You know how many athletes I deal with and have dealt with over 20-something years, put them in college level, going to the pros and this and that. These 21-year-olds ain't thinking like that. Kind of like what Coach Justin said a minute ago. They ain't thinking like that, Val. They thinking it's a come up. I don't care if they playing basketball, football, whatever they are. They look at that paper. It's a come up. It's time to get my family move here, move there. She wasn't trying to pull her family up out the hood. Ain't nobody even talked about where her family's from or where she's from or where this and where that's at. Everything has been about Shannon, which is unfortunate. So we're going to make a hard turn. We're going to take a break here. It's halftime on a pull-up podcast show. We got our next hot topic coming at you after this break. We'll be right back on the pull-up podcast show.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the Key Spot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAT. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. Key Spot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. Key Spot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
And welcome back here to the third quarter with your main man, the one and only Coach Tony, and my sidekick sitting up in here with dripping in blue, Val the Voice Johnson. If y'all don't know, you better check in with us also on Tuesday night for Interlude Talk on Tuesday, where we jump into this entertainment and this music. So it's unusual. I mean, Val and I get a chance to double up because we get a sports guy who did some in the entertainment business. So we kind of brought this to the podcast. So we're going to make a hard turn. And here's my next questions on the table. I definitely got a few people. I know me and Johnny Pratt, J-Dub was talking about this and whatnot. Did Shedeur Sanders, did he get blackballed by the NFL, or was this a way the NFL tried to let Dion, his dad, know that we are the HNIC around here? And I need to know your thoughts on that because I'm going to break mine down. But for those that don't know, this young man right here, Shedeur Sanders, had the second best passing records and the second best touchdown records in college football behind Cam Ward, who went number one. He was projected the top 5 quarterbacks in college football this year, predominantly at the number 2, number 3 spot behind Cam Howard at Ohio State, who won the national championship game, and then Shedeur Sanders. The young man didn't get picked for not 1 round, not 2 rounds, Val, not even 3. Shit, we slept on 4. I turned the TV off by 2, and then he got picked up on number 5. So is that like Brother Man on the 5th floor?
Pretty much.
Okay, and then he gets picked up, at the 144th spot in the 5th round. So again, was this a black ball on the NFL to this young man, or was it the way the NFL simply said, we want to shut your dad up and let him know who really runs things?
Well, I want to just kind of think about the joy finally when that moment happened. Let me share this here.
The 144th pick to the Cleveland Browns. With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select.
Yeah. Because again, I'm gonna answer that in a minute. I want to hear what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You get that?
I'm sorry. Your mouth started moving. I thought you froze. So say it again.
No, I said I don't worry about it. I'm gonna answer that, but I want to hear what you're thinking.
Well, I did the research on Sanders and was just trying to figure some things out. And it looks like someone had called him and did a prank. Said they were from.
Yep. So I'll get to that. I'm gonna go over that too.
You'll get into that too, but
Yep.
I think with Deion Sanders has been a legend in football for decades, and I think, I don't know, maybe it was kind of that he played for his father, and of course, just kind of that boldness of like, look, I know what's best for my son, and I'm gonna tell you guys, you should pick this. He should go to this team, or that team, and he should stay away from these teams. And I think it's kind of this horrible humbling that happened with him, with Sanders, his son, being now not one, not two, but fifth in the NFL draft, which is a huge deal. This is the two of them on the field
That's
together.
That's fifth round, not fifth, but fifth round.
Fifth round, right? And for all that he accomplished on the field, college field, and in sports, and for him to not come into the NFL with, this being in the fifth round, this was not to him. This was a direct shot to Deion. And Deion, he has a personality. He brags, he cajoles, he's got reality. He had reality shows for a minute. There's a lot.
Yeah.
But of course, I think, and just the way you said it, the NFL said, no. We run this, and you don't tell us how to run things. And on top of everything, your son is, whatever. Your son is your son. It doesn't matter. But if we decide we want him to come in at a later part of the draft, we can do that. It doesn't matter if everyone's saying or people are betting, oh, he's going to come in as one of the 10 in the first round. Nope, it was the fifth round. And I think this was a direct shot. And I think, unfortunately, because Deion was so vocal about what he wanted for his son, this ended up hurting the round. Now, hopefully he'll be fun. He'll have fun in Cleveland. It gets cold there, just like it does in Chicago. But I think it's a direct reflection. Deion, I think Deion is Deion. He talks. He loves his kids. He brags. But the NFL is like, we don't care.
Hey, let me tell you something.
5.
I listen to you. I brag. If any of you guys on this show, even my boy Joe, should listen tonight on the golf. Again, 2 hours ago, me and his ass was arguing. I'm talking trash to my entire team. Coach Justin on here, he'll tell you. Don't walk in the gym with me, because I'm going to talk trash. I'm going to probably talk about your mama. I'm going to probably talk about your dad. I don't care. If we on the court, we moving. I'm just saying, we straight old school with this. Until, like my boy James said, successful brothers, especially athletes that are highly versatile, have always more than what they are. And you got to look at it. This young man has been born in this. Tony Tone is a senior right now at MTSU, for those that's Middle Tennessee State. I've been talking trash since he came out the womb. Boy, get up, quit all that crying. Get up out the bed. I know you can't walk. We're going to try to walk. I know the ball hit your mouth. Stop all that crying. Wipe that blood off your face. Let's go. Get the push-ups going. But Tony walked in the gym and at 15-year-old basketball, and I had him playing up a year, and he walks right in the gym and say, hey, what y'all standing around for? Let's go. We got to stretch. Let's go. Because he exemplified leadership. Why? Because I had put that in his head the entire time. So you can't take that out of Deion. I don't care. I love how Deion said, no different than LeBron sold little Bronny. We talked about that. We argued about that. The thing was this, Val, and you alluded to it.
Okay.
No one's bigger than the logo. And I want these young people that I'm listening to my voice understand. The NBA logo, the NBA logo, the NFL logo, the NFL. So the NFL and the NBA logo are your two biggest logos. And no matter who your parent is, you are never, ever, ever going to be bigger than the logo. Just think about this. And I don't know if you even know, Val, who did Deion spend his entire career with, right? This man is a both sides of the ball player at Florida State. He's all over the wall, Hall of Famer. He's a both sides of the ball, Dallas Cowboys, 1996. Go to the NFL, then makes it to the Hall of Fame. There's not been a two-way player in the NFL until they just drafted Travis Hunter. Now, if Travis Hunter is a two-way player, let's think about this. I want y'all to think about what I'm saying.
All right.
And he's a two-way player. On DB on one side of the ball, picking the ball off on the corners. But on the offense, he's a wideout. So he's running routes, so he's a receiver. Who the hell throwing him the damn ball? My son. Shador.
Okay.
So you pick Travis number 2 in the draft. Number 2. But in order for him to become number 2, he had to catch passes from my son, who was predicted to be number 3.
Wow.
So if you look at the real numbers, let's put the numbers down. They always say, me and Justin, we always arguing about the number with LeBron scoring out. I don't give a damn about all that. Jordan got the rings, right? So we could talk about it. But Travis Hunter is not the Heisman Trophy winner, Val. He's not the number 2 draft pick, Val. He's not going to be a multi-million-dollar football player without Shador throwing him the ball. And because he slipped to the 5th round, he lost millions of dollars by getting to the 5th round. And Beverly said, agreed. She said, a direct shot, but God would have his way. And you are so right, because I told everybody today on a podcast I was on earlier today, you are looking at a young man who is supposed to be the number 3 draft pick, who slips not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 rounds. So let's rewind this a little bit, Val, so I can tie it in for you. Do you know who his mentor is, who he has in his telephone?
This is Sanders. No, I do not. I would think his father is one of his main mentors, but of course,
Yeah, but other than that, who would be number 2 then?
another coach.
Nope. It's none other than Tom Brady. You know who Tom Brady is, right?
I know exactly who Tom Brady is.
Tom Brady is the only player that got more rings than Michael Jordan, and he gets all my respect. And
Tom
love him, I hate him. But you know what round that Tom Brady won in?
3?
4. 197. He won in the 4th round when he came out of Michigan.
Wow.
And he sit behind Drew Bledsoe at New England. He sat behind Drew Bledsoe, who couldn't win the Super Bowl for 2 seasons. And then he got the starting job, and the rest is history. He made Bill Belichick go get a 29-year-old. That's what happened. And when he walked away from the game with 7 rings in 2 different franchises, and took both franchises to the Super Bowl. So when I'm telling you, all you did is lit a fire, not only under this young man's feet, but in this young man's heart. He already got trash talking and knows how to win from his old man. Now you're going to learn the game. And the reason why that they say that Cleveland picked him up, because he was on the board as a steal, but one of the coaches on the coaching staff was Deion Sanders' ex-teammate. And I'm the person I'm really pissed off about more than any damn body. Shit,
Oh, wow.
you damn Dallas Cowboys fans, y'all should be having 100,000 people on my show tonight, all the Dallas Cowboys fans, because you just missed out on a quarterback that can help you because Dak Prescott is done. You could have picked up on Shador Sanders, took it back down to Texas, and been on the winning, but you ain't going to do it. So Dallas still going to suck next year.
So QBs picked ahead of Tom Brady in 2000 NFL draft. Chad Pennington,
Yes.
Giovanni Carmazzi, Chris Redmond, T. Martin, Mark Bugler. Oh, God. And then, of course, Spurgon Wynn, and then Tom Brady.
None of those other 5 quarterbacks that you mentioned even finished a freaking career. Not one of those guys got a chance to finish an entire career. And Tom Brady out of that list is the Hall of Famer with the most rings that's ever in football with 7. 1 more than Jordan, 2 more than Magic. So when you look at what Shador Sanders has gone through, shit, he been talking shit all his life. He came out the womb talking crazy. Right? That ain't gonna stop. And you know who, in my personal opinion, you know who this is gonna fire up? Who this really helps?
Who is this?
It helps his little brother, little Dion. It helps him. He gonna come back with a vengeance because he saw how his brother was done. And the baby girl, she's playing basketball. She gonna go out playing with a test. See, people don't understand sometimes. It takes one situation to wake up a giant. And when it does, you know, you got to give that kid, you know, his props. And I love it. Shador, man, you listen to this tape, man. Much love for you. What I like more than anything is he was humble. They interviewed him after he got drafted, Val. He said, hey, I don't know if you heard his interview or not. He said he had 3 days up to this draft. He had not 1, not 2, but 3 bad dreams. 3 bad dreams. One was about slipping down and couldn't make passes. And he did this, and they had to cart him off the field, and they protected all that. It's crazy. So I'm not worried about it. Now I just got to get in where I fit in. And they brought not 1, but Brown brought 2 rookie quarterbacks. They brought Dylan Quinton from Oregon, the Ducks in the Big Ten, right before him. This quarterback was way below Dion. I mean, it was Shador in the rankings. So I'm thinking in my head, if I'm Shador, shit, I can't wait till I get to the football field because it's a wrap, baby. It's on. And so, again, that's why I tell all these kids, Val, I tell them all the time, make sure that you stay in your books. Make sure that you use this money wisely. Yesterday, Val, I heard the craziest thing, and I'm going to give you this, and you're not going to believe it.
Okay.
In the new era of football and basketball, in NIL, we're always talking NIL, a kid that transfers schools makes 5 times more money than a kid that stays. And a kid that's in college, right now, college is where you make your living. The league is where you make your fame. Think about that. College is where you make your living now, kids. Go make your 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15, 20 million. Go make that in college. Get paid. And then go to the league and become famous. And I think what you're seeing is that this kid has been famous since the womb because his old man. And now what you're about to see is a very focused kid that's about to really show you what he's made of. I don't think that he'll get an opportunity to be Rookie of the Year because they probably won't start him. But if you get a chance to go to FanDuel and MGM for promotional purposes only, you need to put a bet that he will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns by the end of the football season. That comes from Coach Tony.
All right. So I put it in the chat. College is where you make your living, but the league is where you make your fame, according to you. And so, of course, I guess we'll take our last break
Take our last break of the night. We're going to come back on the other side. We're going to talk about these NBA playoffs before we get out of here.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back. I've always thought about how my mom has supported me in any creative endeavor, how beautiful was it for your mom to be the superhero in your life and show up in your creative ventures with this book?
People ask her to sign the book more than they ask me to sign the book. Sometimes I step to the side, I take their picture. And, we have to celebrate our mothers. We got to celebrate our beginning.
There you
So
go.
she comes out with me. Every event, she is there. Even when I tell her she does not need to come, she will show up in the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, okay, you coming? Okay. I'm like, all right.
Right. And she got a bottle of wine in her hand.
What
Yeah.
in the world? Why are you giving her alcohol? Don't.
No, I'm just saying. She showed up in the parking lot. She got a bottle of wine, nice wine. She gonna set it down. She ready for the show, Val. You know what I'm saying? Because the funny part about it is, CJ, I've actually talked to Val. I thought about, writing a book myself called My Man's in Them.
I love it.
And look at Val.
My
Yeah.
man's in them.
My Man's in Them. But you gotta read the book. You gotta read the book. But it's a play. CJ, I apologize because Val should have dropped some old Dub C so you could have came out crip walking. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not flamed up right now. I got to hold on. Trying to get me shot.
Going back to school tomorrow, like I saw
gotta go
you,
work tomorrow.
I saw you, Miss Charles. I saw you.
I mean, I can crip walk, so please, but I'm kind of, I'm authoring right now. You guys are funny.
Man, welcome back to the fourth quarter, as they say, the fourth quarter of the Pull Up Podcast Show, where we're giving you quarter by quarter of sports information. This has been a wonderful show tonight. Thank each and every one of you guys who've been checking in. Please make sure you like the show. Make sure you share with your friends. More importantly, subscribe to the Pull Up Podcast Show. We are jumping into the fourth quarter. I need to know, JW out there, Coach Justin, you out there. Bella, I need to know what you're talking about. Bella, I need to know what you're talking about. Who gonna win it all? And I'm gonna give you my picks at the end for promotional purposes only. But we've had a great NBA playoff going on right now in the East. For those that don't know right now, we have got the Cleveland Cavaliers, the number one seed. They have got a 3-0 lead over the Miami Heat. And earlier tonight, they was blowing the Heat out by 45. So I don't know what the score is right now, but it looks like the Heat's going back to Miami so they can go ahead and hit South Beach early. Then you got the number 2, Boston Celtics. They're up 3-1 right now over Orlando. They'll play that game tomorrow night. The New York Knicks is up on the Detroit Pistons 3-1, which has amazed me. Great game yesterday. If you missed that game, hell of a game yesterday and whatnot. And then the Indiana Pacers went up on Giannis, about to send them boys back to Milwaukee. They up 3-1 right now in the East. Out West, my guys, Val, that I told everybody about, the Oklahoma Thunder just simply sent Memphis home 4-0. Now, unfortunately, Ja got taken out the air, got hurt, but, he's okay. I think they'd had a much better game, maybe won a game or two, but they were going to go home early. The Denver Nuggets, the reigning champs, are playing the LA Clippers. It's a 2-2 tie. I think that series may go 6, or maybe even go that may go the distance on that series, which is going to help the Thunder out because they get to go home and rest for a minute, man. They get to rest the bones for at least 2 more games, right? And then you got the Houston Rockets, young boys. But, hey, as they always say, what, Val? Old dogs teach the new dogs new tricks. And Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry and the boys are hanging around right now. They up in the playoff 2-1. And the Lakers right now with Bron and Luka, they are down versus Baby Jordan and Ant-Man 3-1 to Minnesota. So what do you think about these playoffs on the East and the West side, Val? Who do you have out of the East? Who do you got out of the West?
I know you're not asking me that question. I love that you ask. Ladies and gentlemen, I am on FanDuel because of this gentleman right here.
That's right. Exactly.
I call myself rolling the dice, and I'm just kind of like, we'll see. I don't know.
Hey, I'm getting used to it, but in the East Coast, out of the team that that we talked about, with the East Coast. If you got that bracket that I sent, put that bracket up for me if you get a chance to. But
I'm looking forward and trying to get it up now. But
yeah, but
uh,
in the East Coast, it's been very interesting on the East side of the house because I think Cleveland Cavaliers with Donovan Mitchell and of course my guy Darius Garland out of Nashville. I think they've made a big difference. Cleveland's been playing some great ball, number one seed, deserve to be. They been coach of the year on the East side of the house. But the question is, can they get by Boston? I don't know if they got enough. Now Jason Tatum's back. He's playing great. Jaylen Brown's back in. He was hurt a little bit this year. Porzingis is back playing, and Boston is back loaded. They haven't played with the big three like this, in my opinion, since Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Ray. So it's going to be interesting. But I have, coming out of the East, I got Boston playing Cleveland out of the East. On the West side, and the West side of everything, I've got OKC, who's already done it, playing Minnesota, but moving on. In the finals, I got Boston playing OKC, and I got OKC winning it all.
OKC is going to beat. Okay. All
I
right.
got Oklahoma. Before we get out of here right now, Oklahoma, for promotional purpose only, go out, put your money on Oklahoma City is your NBA Finals champs.
Okay. And that's your prediction. Now, I wasn't able to get I don't know why the bracket wasn't showing up, but let me bring up what I have here. So right now, I think, and this is on the East side of things, I think what'll probably end up happening, and the Pistons and New York is in here too. I think the Bucks really buck their way toward the Eastern Conference Finals. I feel like they might be one of the ones that's there. And who would they be facing off with? The former winners from last year. I would think they'll be going head to head with the Celtics, or it could be the Cavaliers, because the Cavaliers are they're coming out of the regular season number one in the East. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so it's anyone's game on the East side of things. West side of things, Oklahoma, that seems to be fun, and I'm still in the back of my brain. I'm rooting for Golden State because I just like them. I like.
Hey,
Steph
don't count Steph. Them playing great right now. They showing young boys what it's made about.
So there's a part of me that's still rooting for them to make it to the Western Conference Finals and even possibly the finals. But yeah, the boys in Oklahoma are really playing very well. And
so who do you got in the NBA championship game? I need two teams. Who you got in the East? Who you got in the West?
Put me on the hot seat.
I gotta put you on the hot seat.
No,
Since you look at the West right now, who you got out of the West? Since you want Golden State?
I want Golden State.
Okay, and then who you got on the East side? You talked about Boston and Cleveland. It was your two meet in the East Championship. So who gonna meet them? Boston or Cleveland gonna meet them?
I think Boston's gonna fight to come back. They're gonna fight.
You got Boston and Golden State in the finals. Who you got?
Boston and Boston, and they're gonna go up against Golden
You
State.
said Golden State. So who's gonna win that game? Who's gonna be the champ?
I don't know. Oh, you're funny.
This is a pull-up podcast, so I need a hard line up in here.
Okay. It'll be Boston.
Okay, so Val the Voice, you guys heard it for promotional purposes only before we get out of here. Val the Voice has got the Boston Celtics repeating and Coach Tony going West Side to OKC. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight to the Pull-Up Podcast Show with my sidekick, Val the Voice. It's been great. This is what I do, sitting here in the Rise Studios. And speaking of the Rise Studio, for those that want to make sure that if you have a young athlete, someone that need branding, someone that needs sponsorship and marketing, please make sure you reach out to us at The Rise at www.therizenil.com, where we match athletes and brands together to make sure everyone is getting paid. So you can unleash your potential by checking in on us. So make sure you reach out to me, and we'll make sure we'll get back to you and show you how it's done the right way. Also, as we mentioned earlier, I got my sidekick rolling with me right here. On Tuesday nights, we have none other than Interlude Talk on Tuesday, and my girl Val the Voice, as she dropped her book. Tell everybody about your book, Val.
Right now, I'm working with my writing mentor. This is now about to go hard copy. I just started the process of getting this now. If you want to get the book, the book you could put in your hand, DJ saved my life. It is part memoir and part ABCs of starting your own podcast. You can find out more about that on purelighthouse.media.com. And then you can go /shop, and that you can go to our shop and find out more information about that. Visit our store, and you can get the ebook right now, but the actual book is coming. So I'm really excited about that. And for the talk on Tuesdays tomorrow, I got a chance to see the new film Sinners from Ryan Coogler. That's probably what we're gonna be talking about that. That's all I got to say. My mind was blown.
I don't do too many scary movies, but I heard the movie was phenomenal, and I've seen a review from Tom Cruise. So tomorrow night, guys, if you have nothing to do, 8:00 p.m., tune back in right here at Val and I. She gives you the real view. I give you the hood movie review. So if you want to figure out how to go to these movies and bring in some sidekick or some bourbon or a little tequila and some chicken wings and some sandwiches to snack, sit in the hood section so everybody talk about the movie, then listen to what I got to say. For those that want to hear the movie and really enjoy, then Val will tell you how to do that. So make sure you tune in with us tomorrow on Interludes Talk on Tuesday with Coach Tony and Val the Voice Johnson. This has been a great night tonight. I'm hoping that we turn around and turn some, more than anything I want to do tonight with both of our conversations, from Shador to Shannon Sharpe, is open your eyes and peel back your mind. Open your eyes. I want you to peel back your mind.
And we're gonna see you guys on tomorrow. But thank you so very much. But what we always say, Coach?
Man, it's been good. I love you, but peace.
Peace.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the voice and Coach Tony, it's the Pull Up Podcast. So, I said bounce the voice and Coach Tony,